Quiet down and settle in at my very own signature classic audience.com. We going back in time, no less. Once upon a singular time, God decided pterosaurs should be dialed up to 11. Thus came the Azhdarchids, and behold, it was good. Following up a bit from that Azhdarchidae episode, we'll follow its format by focusing on another Nido creature, discussing it, and then wrapping up with an aesthetic review. Ahihi-ha-hoo! Azhdarchidae, a family name funky enough for the animals it contains, is rooted in the Persian word Azdar, or Azdaha, which is the name of Iranian mythological dragons resembling large serpents with wings. Try not to be too shocked. I know, I'm surprised too. Nobody really expected me to cover an animal outside of invertebrates either. You just wait till I make an aesthetic review of gibbons, and an actual ape no less. Azhdarchid remains have been found all over the world, from Korea, the British Isles, Canada, Mongolia, New Zealand, Australia, and a some lot more. Turns out fossil density is much higher in the northern hemisphere than the southern. Each Azhdarchid displays an incredible feat of design through their vastly unique wonder-width neck bones. For a recent discovery, Cryodraken was named and publicized in 2019, though it was really discovered in '95, having lived near what is now modern-day Alberta. Back in the good old days of the Cretaceous, Alberta was a temperate plain spotted by forests, not a phone in sight, just Azdos living in the moment. Something that makes this Canuck stand out are two little hollow canals leading to air chambers in their wonder-width neck bones. Arguably the most famous Azdo, the Quetzalcoatlus, currently has the biggest known wingspan of 39 feet. Quite impressive, and almost as wide as Aaron Ra's neck folds. Alanka is a long-necked cutie found clustered near freshwater deltas alongside mollusks and crustacea. Many argue that the beak may have been ideal at probing the watery, muddy terrain for prey, as their beaks had two little bony structures that theoretically would have been helpful for such specialized hunting. Possible intentional crunch and munch. But what if I told you there was a vampire-themed Azhdarchid? Transylvania used to practically be an island around 65 million years ago, creating an Azdo sanctuary for one particularly funky lad. Dracul is displayed in a Bavarian museum currently, and, as of this recording, has yet to be properly named. The discovered specimen is simply about 8 inches of jawbone, but from that alone we can calculate a tremendous pterosaur. That jaw segment was discovered in Transylvania in 1978, but nobody really understood what the hunk of bone was until about 2009. To this day, there is much back and forth about their diets. For a while, some argued that they used pelican tactics, but better fossil reviews convey a beak tip structurally not sound for pelican feeding, not really designed for the stress of plowing through water. Today, most lean towards stork tactics, with plucking and stalking. I imagine that with how many factors are up in the air and how back and forth experts are, that Azhdarchids will receive the same treatment as Spinosaurus. That is, like, a large revision every decade or so. Aesthetic review! Funky fact. Oh, the funky factor is maxed out. Funkier than Parliament. What are we even looking at right now? That is 74 cool guy points. That's the freakiest Muppet I've ever seen. Would induce a heart attack. Yeah, 125 cool guy zoning permits. Long neck, longest neck, an inordinate amount of neck. That's 5,160 groovy points. Oh, fancy folding winglings. That gets it a bonus of 4 orbs. Man, Azhdarchids embody this perfect combination of funky, beautiful, bizarre, and terrifying. As they stand now, they get a Bubsamesium out of 22.5 on the aesthetic scale. One of the highest scores I can legally dispense without getting another license. Fun fact, when I was reading up about my writing styles, I very nearly wrote up a section on Azhdarchid knuckles when skimming through, just some articles. Little did I know, I very nearly cited a David Peters of pterosaur heresy fame. If you don't know the name, I'd suggest giving it a quick little Google search just very quickly. He's a funny running little character. He likes adding funk to fossils and picking fights with paleo nerds.
Oh wow, guys, who knew that Andrew Sarkis was a Tenrec? Wow.
Kudos to Battery Master for saving me the trouble of mistakenly writing a bunch of Peterson material and having to do a rewrite. Bacon Draco? Bacony Draco, perhaps? Bacon? Like pecan? Bacon Dragon. Bacon Dragon.